several days ago, a financial institution with fairly close ties to the Bitcoin ecosystem essentially went into liquidation. And today, federal regulators took over yet another different financial institution, which, while not necessarily having direct ties per se to the Bitcoin ecosystem, or at least certainly not as many ties as the first financial institution, the ripple effects of this type of thing occurring can be unpredictable. So I was not entirely sure, is there a chance that any of our cash balance might be tied up with one or both of these financial institutions? Didn't necessarily have any reason to believe that might be the case, but out of an abundance of caution, I thought, hey, you know what? Let's just wait to see if there's any sort of AK that might get filed. And you never know. There could be an AK filing that, materializes over the weekend or early next week. But all we could do is take it one day at a time. If nothing else, this type of news, right, like what's unfolding within portions of the financial market right now, certainly will give some pause, right, to those of us who say to ourselves, hey, what are some ways that we, right, how can Stronghold Digital Mining mitigate the risk of potentially having a situation where the financial institution where we keep a lot of our fiat US dollar reserves, if that institution runs into trouble, what's our game plan to potentially kind of nimbly maneuver ourselves into a place of safety? So that's kind of where my focus has been. I did notice that the price of Bitcoin seems to be ticking up a little bit, which is useful for us, assuming that the network hash rate doesn't gallop ahead as well. But our numbers today, in terms of the dashboard, look fairly decent. So that's looking great. But the news out of some pockets, right, of the broader financial marketplace, look pretty bad, right? Kind of ominous. And there's always the concern of the ripple effect, right? It's hard to predict what kind of ripple effect may, in fact, affect us directly. And so I think it's prudent to be mindful of that and to monitor the situation carefully. But otherwise, operationally, we appear to be doing great. I have no reason to believe that we have any direct connection with the implosion of these two financial institutions. But again, if nothing else, I think will stimulate some good conversation, right, as to, hey, how do we mitigate the risk going forward that we don't find ourselves in a situation where all of a sudden our assets, or at least our fiat assets, right, are tied up in a financial institution that is no longer potentially liquid. So, okay. It's late. Today's day 10. The countdown continues. I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll hear some news in the weeks ahead as to when exactly our investor presentation will be. I'm going to keep creating a video every single day until we have that investor presentation. Hope you're doing well. Be well. See you tomorrow.